I got a wish list for the season and the feeling is ill. I'ma take some of this tension and go scream it off a hill. Yeah, that all I want for Christmas is a rollie and a meal. But all I'm really getting is some Henny and some kill. So I guess I'll wait for Santa and get high with him shit. We get so high, he forgot about the rest of the kids. So I jumped off in his sleigh and he said my work here is done. Gave me 3 hoes and now he's off to see Mickey's son.
But Santa landed hard. He endowed in my bush. I went and checked on his body, and he was dead as he looked. Ugh, Santa be a corpse. Shit, I'm fucking shook. I checked all around to see if my wishes were there. I grabbed the fucking sack and said, it better be here. I'm struggling, Santa, bro. My wife is in daily pain. She cries. You picked this Christmas night to get shit-faced and die. I reached into his sack. I found duffels and bills. But then I heard a little sound coming from Santa's sleigh. It was Dangerous Thoughts, man. The show that we make. And suddenly I heard bliss and joy and ho ho ho. Santa was alive and he was playing a joke.
I heard a little sound coming from Santa's sleigh. It was Dangerous Thoughts, man, the show that we make. Then I heard bliss and joy and a ho ho ho. It was Santa, he's alive, he was playing a joke.
Christmas special.
Our senses, right? We can see, taste, touch, smell, and hear.
In my element, on a level you never been. Where you got is irrelevant, do what you never done. And I done what you never did, and my greatness is evidence. When it comes to the money, this isn't a game. I ain't making monopoly funds, don't run from a hater. Pull up with the heaters that hop out like you hit the block with the sun. Who you know sharper than one? I'm smoking all the competition like a prime time. I'm spitting that Gucci, that Fendi, that Prada, and dropping these top of the line rhymes. Them line rhymes like dimes, cause in my mind there's no contest to these metaphors and these concepts. I got them feeling so hard pressed, they won't press back cause they harmless. Right-handed but I got a strong left. You can't handle these balls that I spar with. And like hammers I bang on your forehead and they all vexed cause I'm on next. Got 'em panicking like it's a bomb threat, cause the shit that I'm spitting is hitting so hard that the damage is so ripping cortex.
Your cerebral cortex, your fucked up cerebellum.
Bye and a ho 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 ho. Merry Christmas, everybody. This is Dangerous Thoughts. I'm your guest tonight, Mickey's son. Thank you to ClickType for that opening. That put me in a Christmas spirit. Santa dying on the lawn. I don't even remember making that. That's how sick I am tonight, folks. I've got a fever and a sore throat and all the lovely things that you have for Christmas. Sniffles, body aches, the rest. But I also have a Christmas tree that my good buddy Subscript Pirate put up behind me. So, and look at it. It's got
Bruce Willis.
yeah, but what's his character in the movie? What's his name? John McClane. John McClane crawling through my Christmas tree. So I'm feeling festive. So tonight is our Christmas special, and I'm having our special guest host Mala Morrigan sort of run the show tonight. She did a bunch of research for us on the holidays, the history of Christmas, and we're going to talk about what makes us feel Christmassy and what makes us why we do this every year, and also all of the other holidays that happen to happen in December. So Tyson, what makes you feel Christmassy? Do you have any Christmas stories that you think back on and you get in the Christmas spirit?
I have, well, when I was a really small kid, I remember on Christmas Eve, my family would pack up and we'd go to grandma's house, and she had a chest full of Legos and would pull those out. And I love playing with, and they were, back then there were no specialty Legos. They were just plain Legos, but there were probably 10 boxes worth of, and you could build anything you wanted. She had a beautiful Christmas tree, and we got to open presents, Christmas Eve. And then we would come home, and Christmas morning we would do our presents at home. So it was like having a double Christmas. The smell of, when you go to the shopping mall and everything was dressed up in lights, and at home the smell of the pine tree, like all of those memories are just, I just love this time of year.
I can relate to that, actually. Holidays. I connect my I'm sure all of our grandmas probably. Do you have a grandma still, Mala? Is she alive?
No, my husband's grandmother is still alive though, and she will be 101 in September.
Wow.
Crazy.
Where she live?
She lives in Kitchener, Ontario.
Is it close to you?
Not really.
No.
About 45 minutes to an hour from Toronto.
My grandpa lived to be 101, but I used to remember going to grandma's for a couple Christmases too. I can actually think back and trigger that when you said the smell. I can think,
Yeah.
yeah, this I can feel if that makes sense. The smell of my grandma's house during Christmas. Pretty neat. So I want Mala, go ahead and take over, and we'll start with the history of Christmas, I guess, and how this whole thing started while I look at some notes.
Well, according to the Bible, no, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. Somebody had to say it. But no, I mean, the Christmas that we celebrate today is actually very different than the traditional Christmases before the 1800s. And I think people have gotten a lot more commercial with it since then. I mean, it used to be a lot about creating, like you would make your gifts. People would make their cards. They'd make all their ornaments and even their candles. Everything was homemade. And now everything is so commercialized.
Homemade.
That is awesome. I'm so glad Casi made that.
Yeah, it's badass. That's the coolest Christmas ornament I've ever seen. If you actually look, he's flicking his Bic.
He's in the
Bic, but his Zippo. And the light is going through there. It's a fire hazard, but you know, John McClane can handle that.
Honestly, my house is more of a Terminator Christmas movie house.
Oh yeah,
because Terminator came.
I love in the Bible how in First Corinthians,
nothing makes me think of Christmas like Terminator.
In First Corinthians, when Santa Claus really kicked Krampus's ass, it was great. You should read that.
Yeah, I watched a bummer. You know what? There's the classic Christmas movies, right? I love all the classic Christmas movies. You got the one where the kid sticks his tongue on the pole. What's that one? Christmas Story.
Christmas Story.
You got Home Alone. You've got a modern day classic. The Grinch, I would argue, is a modern day classic with Jim Carrey. I watch that every year. Then you got the old ones. It's a Wonderful Life. Anything else you'd like to watch on Christmas? It's funny because all these new Christmas movies, I got to tell you, this year they're bogus.
Oh my God! Especially the Hallmark
bogus.
Christmas movies.
Bogus. You know what's the best Christmas movie? Oh, Scrooged. That's a good one. That's
Miracle on 30 whatever street. That was a good one.
I've never seen it. Street? Believe it or not, I've never seen Miracle on 34th Street.
The original is the best one, but the newer one was
What's
good.
The original? Like the 60s or the 40s or when?
I think it was the 50s.
Okay.
And it is in black and white, and they institutionalized Santa. It's crazy.
Holly Weird is struggling this year. They've got two Christmas movies out, the big budget ones. One's Jack Black, Satan Claus. Have you seen that? Or
I've seen commercials for it.
The only good part in the whole movie was the fart joke.
Is it streaming? Is it streaming or is it a theater?
It's streaming. And then Red One with like The Rock and Chris Evans, who I used to run with a little bit. But it just looked like, why would they put all those millions of dollars into The Rock and Chris Evans running around doing an action film? Like, that's the Christmas action film. You're never going to beat Die Hard for Christmas. Nobody wants to actually see an action. I mean, it's bad. Red One, I think they put like hundreds of millions and then they decided not to even put it. It must be in theaters, but they're streaming it directly. I haven't seen it yet. Have you guys checked out Red One yet?
Not yet.
No.
The Satan
Claus is that the one with the guy from Oz? The guy who plays Santa.
Red One is
who's Santa in Red One?
Oh, I love this actor.
Is that the guy that was from the movie or from the Showtime special Oz about the jail? I think it was that guy from that.
Maybe. I remember.
I have a story about him, by the way, and I ought to look up the actor's name. But I used to watch Oz. I was.
His name
really
is J.K. Simmons. Was he?
Yes, J.K. Simmons. Okay, I think. Hold on, I'll tell you in a minute. But anyway, the guy from Oz.
You guys are researching here. We have a lot of movies popping up in the comments.
Oh yeah.
He was
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. How could I forget that?
National Lampoon. So here's a quick story. When I was 5 years old, I was at my grandparents' house. That was the first time I saw the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. And the scene where the cat got a hold of those Christmas lights, I laughed so hard. My grandparents they almost had to take me to the hospital. As we stopped breathing, and I was gasping for air. But that was the funniest thing in the world to me when I was a kid.
Oh, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. If I had to pick like the best Christmas movie, if I can only watch one Christmas movie a year, I'm probably going to go with National Lampoon's.
I just looked it up. It is definitely J.K. Simmons.
It is J.K.
So
Simmons.
He's the one who plays Santa Claus in this red one, right?
Yeah, the trailer looks
Simmons.
terrible,
Okay.
But hopefully it's good. Maybe it's good. Who knows? I haven't seen it.
Really quick, I have that story about J.K. Simmons when I met him in real life. Huge fan of Oz, which ran from 97 to 03. It was about a prison. He played a white supremacist, really evil, killing people in prison. Anyway, I worked at Nordstrom from 99 to 03, and I remember I was going out to the cafe bar right outside the doors of where I worked inside the store. And I saw a person, their head was turned. They were grabbing a young girl saying, come along. And I held the door open and he looked up at me and said, thank you. It was J.K. I, for a split second, did not see the actor. I saw the
guy from
character
Oz.
he portrayed, right? The guy from Oz scared the shit out of me. I'm like, he's out of jail. And then I'm like, for a split second, and then I'm like, oh, he's an actor. But like for a split second, it was the character, not the actor. It was hilarious. He probably saw the look on my face like.
Preska says she thinks Red One was meant for theaters. Of course it was. I mean, it probably is in theaters, but you know that the straight release to Amazon without even having to buy it, that they know it's going to tank, or it did tank. Someone else said that it takes a lot for something to Muppets Christmas Carol. That's a pretty good one. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it takes the budget was 250 million and it took in 180. Oh, people are actually going to see it, kind of. I mean, that's a Hollywood failure, but
the Muppets at Christmas Together is another good one.
That's good. The Muppet Christmas?
No, the Muppet. Well, it's actually John Denver and the Muppets at Christmas Together. I have the album.
Oh, the album.
Your favorite?
No, it was an actual TV special. You can find it on YouTube, and they released a 12-inch LP.
By the way, guys, if you want to join us for this conversation about Christmas and the history of Christmas holidays, go ahead and hit like, hit subscribe, punch those buttons if you haven't done so yet. Share the show if you love the show. And you can also come on and chat with us and talk with us tonight if you want to click the Discord link or write at Subscript Pirate on X and join the conversation. But we've got great stuff going on over here in the... Preska says Hollywood needs fresh stuff. It's like everybody knows that but Hollywood. They just keep recycling old things because they're too scared to make new movies.
I don't know though, but every time they do, like Hallmark does something new every time, and nobody likes that. Like I like the classics.
Do you think Gremlins from 1984 is a Christmas movie?
Oh yeah,
absolutely,
for sure.
Yeah,
I guess, but I mean, I
haven't seen that.
How old were you in '84? I know how old I was. Gremlins scared me. Gremlins scared me when I watched it. So did Ghostbusters, by the way.
Oh, Gremlins scared me too. And then my mom got me one of those little fuckers.
Mogwai.
And then she put it in the washer, and I was like, "Oh, we're screwed, Mom."
And what was the other one? The other one was Stripe, right? Was that
Stripe?
Oh,
yeah.
Oh my God, I remember that. I love that. What about Phantasm? You guys remember that?
Phantasm? Is that a Christmas movie? I
don't think it's a Christmas movie, but it was up there with Gremlins for me.
Yeah, Gremlins scared me too when I was a kid.
I'm pretty sure it was a winter release.
Phantasm?
Yeah. A lot of scary movies come out around Christmas.
And kill people. Yeah. Those things look like Christmas ornaments.
Yeah. Shatner did Kingdom of the Spiders. That was another winter movie, but
I usually love winter movies, and I'm usually really looking forward to going to the theater on Christmas Day, but I don't know what I would pick this year.
But don't you feel bad for the people who have to work the theater on Christmas? Like, I avoid the theater on Christmas Day for that very reason. I think they should have Christmas off.
I feel bad for everybody on Christmas. I fluctuate between like feeling the Christmas spirit and then just feeling ultra terrified. It seems like every Christmas for me, every December is like the world's about to blow up and I'm about to be in financial ruin and it's terrifying and horrible. And then I lose myself in that Christmas day, and then the new year comes around and somehow things work out. That
Then you
seems
get your
to be-
tax refund and everything's fine.
Oh, speaking of, I got a
Well,
horrible letter in the mail today. They want so much money from me. I think they must have made a mistake.
do you have an accountant?
Yes, I think my accountant either made a mistake or the government made a mistake, but they sent me a bill that's like for 10 times as much money as I have.
Right. It's like I can't be that broke and still owe taxes, right?
Right?
No.
If I owe taxes, I should be rich.
Yeah. I mean, it's an incredible amount of money, and it must be a flub because in one of the corners of the letter, it has the amount of money I made last year, and then it has an added fine for a late payment, and then another added fine of some kind, and it's a phenomenal amount of money. And I'm like, well, why did they add what I made last year? Must be a mistake, but I'm hoping.
Oh, grumpy old men. That's a great
Grumpy
Christmas.
old men.
Grumpy old men.
Looks
God,
like Chuck's gonna take his skin boat to Tuna Town.
Taking a one-eyed snake to. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That
One
was
man
that was
rocket to the moon.
Burgess Meredith at the end of that movie. He just did like 20 of those stupid jokes.
Yeah.
You gotta love Burgess Meredith.
Yeah, the outtakes of both Grumpy Old Men with Burgess,
yeah.
They're fantastic.
And Grumpier Old Men was the sequel. They were both fantastic, but the first one actually happened in winter with the snow. That was Christmas. Oh, I love Grumpy Old Men. I'm gonna watch that tonight
too, wasn't he?
Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau, so the original Odd Couple. Yeah, and they're so perfect together. They worked with each other for like 80 years.
Right.
So they're both dead now, and I think so is Burgess. But my God, those two movies are just. And do you know that on Rotten Tomatoes it's only like 6 out of 10? Like to me, that's a 10 out of 10. Like you can't get better than Grumpy Old Men. It was great.
Yeah, that's a 10 out of 10 movie. Give me a break.
It's a 10
9
out
out
of
of 10 at least.
At least.
You know, one we're forgetting that I actually really love is Love Actually.
Oh,
I actually really love Love Actually. That's a good movie.
But that's getting a lot of heat right now.
What? Really?
Yeah. The actress? What's her name? Is it Emma Stone that was in it?
What'd she do?
She was about 17 when they recorded that, and when they're doing the sign scene, she said something about it being very creepy, and she had to like adjust her face so people wouldn't see how creepy she thought it was. I don't know.
You mean the stalker scene where he comes to the door with his cards and starts dropping them? Is she in the house, Emma Stone?
I think so. And she's like looking through a glass door at him, right?
No, she opens the door and the husband is in the house that she's dating, but from what I remember, and he's just telling her he loves her with the
husband that she's dating.
It's been so long.
You can just take me off the show. I have a
I'm just like, what?
Well, the guy that she's dating, maybe it's her husband. I don't remember, but I know the guy comes to the door and says he loves you with special cards that he drops. But I think it's a beautiful moment. And I don't remember it being Emma Stone. I remember it being that girl from.
I could be wrong. It happens every day. Seriously.
Yeah, it happens to me too.
It doesn't get better with age.
No,
I'll tell you that right now.
No, but so Christmas goes all the way back, right? It goes all the way back to the Romans, doesn't it? Is that when Christmas?
So Mala, tell us how does this get started?
Well, Christmas didn't actually get started until like.
Merry Christmas, Rose.
Probably about 125 AD, because he didn't die until 33 AD, right?
Who, Jesus?
Yeah.
Well, he died, resurrected, then went to heaven. So he didn't really. They never say when Jesus
it's sort
died.
Of like beaming up to
when he passed.
The star on Star.
He was 33. Yes, that's correct.
And it did take like years and like almost 100 years for Christianity to really catch on. And at that time, it was mainly a Jewish population in the area where Jesus was born and raised and lived. And then he moved like to a more Roman populated area, which is where he flips the tables in the marketplace and stuff. But really, the whole philosophy of Christianity didn't catch on until almost 100 years after his passing.
But
Because
the Romans celebrated Saturnalia or something, right?
Yes. The Romans were originally polytheistic. They had multiple deities, but then Julius Caesar deified himself.
Right. Now, Saturnalia was absolutely a Roman holiday. It was the Roman. It was Saturn, the god Saturn, that they paid tribute to, and that's where we get a lot of our. That they brought sprigs of pine into their house. They that's where they were giving gifts. There were feasts. So a lot of Saturnalia shows up in Christmas.
Okay, yeah. So it seems very Christmassy. The ancient Roman festival of Saturnalia is perhaps the most closely linked with the modern celebration of Christmas. This festival happened around the time of the winter solstice. There were games and feasts and gift giving for several days, and social order was inverted. That's interesting.
Yes, you could gamble in public, which you weren't allowed to do.
And slaves did not work and were briefly treated as equals on that December holiday.
Yeah, it was.
So Christmas must be like a Christian conglomeration of a bunch of different pagan holidays, kind of all put together.
Christianity usurped pagan and other religions and folded it in. Go ahead. Yes.
What Christianity kind of did is they went and they destroyed all the pagan temples and built Christian temples in their place. And the whole idea was that the pagans would still come there because that's historically where they worshiped, and they would slowly be converted into the Christian society. So it's not like they were originally nasty about it, or it was all wars and it was like one person killing another over religious philosophy. That didn't really happen until almost the Crusades. But they did take down all the pagan temples, and then they kind of married the holidays so that most Christian holidays have pagan roots.
It dawned on me the other night. I was watching a movie called Firebrand about King Henry VIII and his sixth wife, and it's like 1531, and boy, it would have sucked to live back then. Like it really would have, but they did have it was the church, and the king was trying to say he was the head of the church. Henry VIII, he's not a well-loved king.
What was that dynasty?
Chopped his wife's heads off.
Yes.
But his sixth wife. But the thing about the pagans is that in that movie, I noticed that they would still have all these pagan ceremonies, even though they were Christian. They would still have. The people would come up to the castle and do all these pagan. They still love to party. They need the pagans so that they can party, and they have to have somebody to persecute.
The Tudors, that King Henry VIII, I believe, was part of the Tudors dynasty.
The Borgias, the Tudors and the Borgias.
Yeah,
and even the Christmas tree is like a cast off of the pagan Yule log.
Yes.
And what was a Yule log? What'd that look like?
Well, that was kind of different depending on the region you were in. But for basically the Nordic people and most European people, they would take in a fairly large size log and they would slowly burn it over 12 days. And that's where the 12 days of Christmas comes from. And that's also like the celebration of when the days start getting a little longer and everything. And I had some notes on that actually.
Now, a Yule log is typically a fresher cut, meaning there's more liquid in it. It takes longer to burn. It's not like an old dried piece of wood that you would normally put in your fireplace that burns rapidly and heats the house. A Yule log was fresher, wetter, recently cut. It would burn very slowly because it was wet. And that's where you get that long burning and the pops and everything is from the Yule log.
And in places like the Mediterranean, what they would actually do, instead of burning the Yule log, they would nurture it, and then they would plant it on the spring equinox. And it was kind of a recognition of how they take care of the earth, and they're one with the earth.
Which is all pagan stuff, is basically you're one with the earth, and you celebrate the earth as the earth is God, right? Basically.
Quick question I
God
have
is
for
an
both of
energy.
you. Before Christmas lights, before electricity, they would put candles in the Christmas tree.
Fire
How
has
did that not burn down the frickin' house? You're putting fire on wood.
I bet they had a lot of fire.
Yeah, they
I
probably
don't know
did.
how that works. I don't know how that
I'm
works.
not
How do you
sure.
put candles?
I think that's
I
why we all
honestly-
agree on the fire department as a social, you know,
But before
even anarchists like the fire department,
right?
because we
And
live
before-
in bombs. We basically do, right? I mean, look
We
at
do.
all of our
The
houses are
volunteer
bombs.
fire department.
We've got all. Yeah. Well, we should. Yeah, volunteer fire department.
Oh, Roxanne. Roxanne is another Christmas. Sorry. Keep going.
Roxanne, is that
What
the one
was
where
Steve
Steve Martin gets a big
Does
nose?
yeah,
and
Steve
Cyrano
Martin
de
with the big
Bergerac?
yeah. And it was
It's a
based on Cyrano Hercule Sauvignon de Bergerac.
Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Oh
All
my
right, check
goodness.
this
Cyrano
out.
de
So
Bergerac.
I found this interesting. I was looking at your notes earlier. The Feast of Our Lady Guadalupe on December 12th is another holiday that
Right?
commemorates the Virgin Mary. I'm wondering if this is a Catholic holiday or something.
And Advent, I think, is also yeah.
It's mainly specific to Mexico.
Oh, it's specific to Mexico. Okay.
It is.
So in Mexico, according to their tradition, the Virgin Mary appeared to this guy named Juan Diego, who was an Aztec who converted to Christianity. And she appeared to him on 4 occasions between December 9th and December 12th, 1531. Wow, that's wild. So as the English king was chopping his wife's heads off, Mary was appearing to this guy in Mexico. Jesus, man. Jesus.
Hey, Mary,
Hey, Mary.
you're needed more over in England right now. I don't.
Yeah,
need to
you
look
need to
at
get
you.
back to England, man.
The king needs a word with you. He's
Yeah.
going through wives like
During
I
his
go through underwear.
during her first apparition, she requested that a shrine to her be built on the spot where she appeared, Tepeyac Hill, now a suburb of Mexico City. However, the local bishop hesitated to act on this request, so Mary appeared again to Juan Diego a second time on December 9th, and the bishop then told Juan Diego, I don't buy it. Have her appear again. And on December 10th, Juan Diego met with the bishop, who this time demanded a sign before he would approve the construction of the church. Mary then appeared a third time to Juan Diego, who told her of the bishop's demand for a sign. And on December 12th, she made her 4th appearance. Yeah, she was needed in England. What was she doing there?
It was warmer.
Oh yeah, yeah. She flew over there for the Christmas, for the warmth. Ordering Juan Diego, he collected a bunch of roses from the hill and he brought them to the bishop. Miraculously, there were roses blooming on the hill despite it being winter. Moreover, the roses were native to Castile, a region of Spain. So some magic roses appeared.
The bishop was from Spain.
Yeah, and now you can actually go to the Basilica of Guadalupe where this all happened. And also Mary appeared a 5th time to Juan Diego's dying uncle and restored him to health. They should have a really good idea what Mother Mary looked like.
I thought magic roses were Bette Midler because she plants it in the snow and then it becomes a rose and whatever. All right.
I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but that same temple also has an incorruptible corpse.
Oh, really? One of those alien things.
A little girl whose body to this day has not decomposed.
It's in the Basilica de Guadalupe.
Yeah.
And it's the little girl. Yeah, those incorruptible corpses are strange things.
That's creepy.
Do we have a picture? Can we pull up a picture of the incorruptible corpse of the Basilica de Guadalupe? Let's see if we can find it.
I am trying to get so lubricated that I won't decompose.
How are you
alcohol is a
that?
present.
Oh, you're just
alcohol is a
yourself.
I've got enough to formaldehyde myself.
I'm a big fan of the Christmas holiday bourbon and eggnog. I try to get as
Oh.
much eggnog as possible into my body during the Christmas season.
I have a rum and eggnog pre-mixed bottle. You just open it,
Yeah, buddy.
pour.
Yeah.
That reminds me. Why am I talking to
like-
you guys when I got the eggnog in the fridge right now?
Yeah, right. You get the nog. That's a classic scene.
I
From
got better
Christmas.
things to drink. I mean,
Yeah.
anyway.
I got better things to drink to do. Where he's just drinking the egg. It's good. It's good.
I just
Yeah,
like
good.
the alcohol-free eggnog. Isn't that sad?
Oh no, it's not. I swear,
Actually, it's really
I get
good.
so much eggnog,
I love
and I try to put on a good 10, 15 pounds over Christmas because it's the only time of the year where they have the nog. I don't understand why they don't sell it.
I know. It's
I love it.
round. It's so good.
You're
It's
gonna
just-
have to learn how to make it.
it's like liquid sex. I love eggnog.
Thick and creamy and
Thick and
all spicy and
Oh,
just
yeah.
so good. I love eggnog. I
I'm gonna
love
pick
now
up- I'm gonna pick up
the
some
rum
more.
doesn't hurt it any.
Nope.
I'll drink it with the rum, but if even virgin eggnog has never had sex with rum, I'll have it. It's
Yeah.
still really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
And
Love
people
this.
that don't like eggnog, I don't think they're from this planet.
Yeah, I
this
don't
is
trust
dangerous
them.
thoughts. I know we get off the.
My husband doesn't like eggnog, so it's some
Ooh,
question,
that's sketchy. He might
Yeah.
be a hybrid.
question that
He might
character.
be a hybrid. Hey, there's a new good documentary, by the way, on the aliens called Beyond on MGM Plus. It's Beyond Aliens, and UFOs and UAPs by what's that guy's name? He made the recent Star Treks. J.J. Abrams. Kick-ass documentary on the aliens and the
Didn't he also do
UAPs.
LA Law?
If you didn't know, this is not very Christmassy, but there's like a whole thing set up now. I don't know if people know this, like some people do. The Pentagon has established an organization called Arrow that's supposed to look into and supposed to have access to all the special access projects for all these weird flying Christmas trees that are been visiting this planet. Ever since they put these, a whole new Pentagon program has been set up to study UFOs, but they're getting the basic part of the documentary is they're getting snowballed by the Air Force. So everybody, all the other armed forces are saying, yeah, here's all our reports on everything we have. And the Air Force is telling the Arrow people, sorry, we'll tell you a little bit about it, but you can't have access to these papers. Even though the congressman and Congress has said we want to know the true history of UFOs. We want to know. The Air Force is still playing hardball.
You know what? I don't think the military says, I want to know the true nature. I think the military has craft and has beings, and they do know. I think this is dressing for the public. I think that everything
just like
we're
Project
seeing
Sign
is
and Project Blue Book. It's
yeah,
just another. Here's it.
It's dressing for the public. They already know what they know. Now, maybe there's more than one entity, and maybe they're still looking, and maybe there's still things that I'm sure, every sighting they want to collect, they want to know. I get that. But it's not because, we don't know if they're real and we're trying to, no, is this a new species? Is this a new threat? Is this a new, but they fucking know. Excuse the language. They know.
Yeah.
By the way, this time of year,
have you seen it? Have you seen Beyond yet?
Beyond.
Take the time to go see Beyond.
I have not seen the documentary Beyond, but
No.
I think that there is when they convict you without a body or without a weapon, but they convict you of murder on the preponderance of the evidence. In other words, there's so many things that had to line up that it's practically impossible that you didn't do it, right? It's called a preponderance of evidence. There's a preponderance of evidence when it comes to UFOs. There just is. And the government knows. And it's ridiculous that they pretend like, we don't know. Of course they do.
There we go. There's Beyond. Go check that out on MGM Plus if you want your mind completely blown. And this is not conspiracy theory, folks. This is actual hard evidence and facts. And this will, if you don't believe that something is flying around in our skies that is absolutely phenomenal and whips our F-18s and the best of our jets and the best of the technology they say we have, they're up there, and what they are, who knows?
What do you
They
think the
probably
Tic Tac
only
was?
let them out once every December 25th. That's what Santa Claus is.
What do you think? What do you think the Tic Tac alien? And I mean, they have it. They have it on radar. They have it on film. They have it on everything.
They're seeing them.
There it is.
When you see this doc, you'll see that they're seeing them every day. Every
Of
single
course,
day.
of course they are. Yeah, I'll make everybody on here listening to this program a bet. If you go outside on a clear night where you can see the stars very clearly, lay down and look up at the sky for 2 hours. Just 2 hours. I'm not saying all night. I'm not saying for years at a time. Lay down on a very clear night for 2 hours and look. You're going to see lights moving in the sky. I guarantee it. And it's never has it not happened where I took an air mattress out in the backyard, laid down. I'm in a rural area, so it's real nice and bright.
Oh, you've got no light pollution? That's awesome.
It's not starting.
You always see, and I'm not talking about satellites where, it catches the sun and you can see it transiting. You see those. But I mean a light that just turns and goes the other way quickly. A satellite doesn't do that.
No.
Nothing we have does that. But if you look long enough, you will see it. You will see a light that goes, whoop, whoop, and you see it.
So I think these
crazy
people that go to the Air Force, they go in there and they go, their lowest, the least talented pilots get sent to fly our jets and stuff, and then the other pilots get sent to fly the good shit, and then they probably make up stories like, oh, Jimmy got kicked out of the area.
The Blue Angels are pretty decent.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that to be a F-18 and pilot and all these other different beautiful aircraft that they say we do, that they admit we have, takes some talent. And
you mean like Aurora doesn't exist?
Yeah, they've got, but I bet you the hot shots now go off to the special ops projects, and then that's what it seemed to me in this documentary, because everybody's opening up to this Aero program, said by Congress set it up to get the right.
What about the non-terrestrial officers? What was that idiot in England that hacked NASA and found that spreadsheet that said non-terrestrial officers? They were human names. I mean, it was human beings.
I mean,
they were not serving on Earth. Is the point?
Yeah.
Well, okay. If you're not serving on Earth, then where are you serving?
That's what I mean. If there's so much weird stuff going on out there. I'm sorry I got off track of Christmas, but I had to, because that documentary was so good. Watch it for Christmas.
On that note,
we absolutely have to. By the way, Christmas this time of year, the snow bunnies come out. I've seen the rabbits out there, and it just got me thinking. You know why you don't? You know why you can't hear a snow bunny have sex?
Why?
They have cotton balls.
And
yeah. All right.
So who thinks Jesus might have been beamed up by Scotty?
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking the same thing. I think, if you're beamed up, you must die, because you take all your information. I think we're all on a CD, honestly. I think we are. We're in an 11-dimensional universe celebrating Christmas, and we're in the third dimension. So, like, we're down the totem pole. If you were in the seventh dimension, you'd be able to transverse time, to walk into this universe, take a little look around, walk out.
Whether it's the Bible or the Mahabharata or any of the other ancient religious texts, I want you to look at it through a modern lens. When they talk about these flying ships and lightning bolts and everything else, is it misunderstood advanced alien technology? Or is it really magic?
Well, I think these things in dimensions
Occam's
above
razor,
us,
right?
They must be, by their Jesus, by his definition, is extraterrestrial.
God, by his definition, is extraterrestrial. God was not born on the planet Earth. He is not a human being. He's got power over things. He is an advanced extraterrestrial, of course.
Yeah,
well,
he's
I happen to think that the Garden of Eden could have been a lab, because Adam was born as a full-grown man.
I want you to see what Katie put right here, because that is fact.
If you believe in God,
you believe in aliens.
Yeah,
period. That's
Okay.
Katie, I could not have said it better.
I think,
My-
yeah, I think Cecil's right too.
Misunderstood technology. It's exactly what it is. I mean, think of a chariot. So and so went up to heaven on a flying chariot. Does that sound like a rocket ship to anybody else, or is that
And
just
all
me?
the Indian and Chinese texts about cities in the sky and like the Anunnaki
Absolutely.
with the sky, like
Watch it. Watch Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and then talk to me about a city in the sky. Right?
right?
I mean, and
Love
that's
that.
just Steven Spielberg, another great Christmas movie. Steven Spielberg, and
What is the worst thing that's ever happened to you on Christmas, Mala?
See, I don't really celebrate Christmas.
No,
So,
really? You don't do it?
like, I go to family functions because my family celebrates it, right?
right.
I
But
dig it. Just checking out. Forget it. Forget
yeah,
this
I'm there for the
capitalism
food and
Coca-Cola
for
holiday.
family. Like, I'm like Audrey too in Little Shop of Horrors. Feed me, Seymour.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
with
just
it.
here for the food.
Yeah, me too. This whole month
But
for
like,
me is about eating.
I constantly tell my parents and my in-laws and everything, just make a donation somewhere in my name. I don't need anything. But I mean, it makes them feel better to get us stuff. And of course, we reciprocate. But it's not out of any sense of anything more than obligation. It's not because I believe in it, right? But I like the family aspect. I like getting together and eating. I love that quality time.
That reminds me, I just mailed my Christmas cards yesterday on Saturday. So I know Mala, Katie, since you're not in the US, you'll probably get it after Christmas. And I'm
Gotta please.
assuming, no, I sent one to Katie, I sent one to you, but I just put it in the mail Saturday. Manu, you're going to get yours probably Tuesday. If not, it'll be after Christmas, and I'm sorry about that.
It's all
But
right. You're not even
please
getting one
tell,
from me, and I love you though.
but please
We have
tell,
to send cards
please tell
now.
Val she's also getting her birthday card. That's coming too.
Val usually does the cards, but Val's been sick, so she didn't do any Christmas cards this year.
I didn't last year because I had COVID, and I wasn't going to lick everybody's envelope with COVID and mail off.
Here
Here,
you go.
let me
Merry
share
Christmas.
this. Merry Christmas. Have some COVID. So I didn't do it last. I did the year before, but I didn't do it last year because of COVID. And this year was kind of the hardest because this is the first year that I'm going through Christmas without Mom. She passed away in March, so
Yeah.
that's kind of shitty. We only have about 15 minutes left. We have several callers, so do
Yeah,
we
let's
want
bring
to
some
ask
people
our
on.
callers? Let's see what they.
Worst thing that ever happened to me on Christmas. I sharted on Christmas once.
Oh no.
It
Messy.
doesn't matter what day of the year. Sharding is always that you think it's a fart, you're pretty sure, and you just try to do the one cheek sneak, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah, water.
your eyes go, "Poop," and you're like, "Oops, that's not."
I got to tell the story. It's very strange, but it was the funniest thing to me because I watched that Satan Santa Claus movie where the guy sharts, and so it made me think of the Christmas where I sharted. I won't share my story because it's boring, but one of the funniest things that ever happened to me, and this was around Christmas Eve too. My buddy Chris, it was the coolest shart ever because he was standing right next to me, and he was like looking at me right in the eye when it happened, and he went for it, and he farted, and it was so obviously wet and horrible. Just from the sound, I could tell that he just, it was just the most hideous sounding fart ever. You could tell it was chunky, you know what I mean? I knew it immediately. There was no hiding it. But the way that he reacted when it happened was so classic. He just went, hey man, you got any underwear I could borrow?
Borrow, like you'd want them back.
No, I don't want. Yeah, it was just, but like he didn't even it was just so straight on the nose, Oh yeah, and I know. So do you got another pair of boxers? I was like, sure. Buddy,
Let's not mince words. The definition of surprise is a fart with a lump in it.
Yeah.
All right, we got
the worst Christmas present you can.
We got some
ever
callers.
get.
Let's start with Katie.
Merry
Katie, how you
Christmas,
doing?
Katie.
Hello.
Yes,
Good morning.
I saw
Christmas
you
is
went batty earlier. You were upside
I
down a
don't.
little while ago. I missed it.
My camera has been, as soon as I came backstage, my camera flipped me upside down. It went backwards. It zoomed right in. It did everything in the space of about 10 minutes.
It's like a haunted Christmas over there.
Yeah. But no, happy holidays, happy Yule, and Merry Christmas.
Why do you say Happy Yule? Is that something you say in England?
No, but I always wish everyone a happy Yule because I'm pagan.
Oh, Yule is the pagan holiday. See, we haven't educated people about these holidays.
Well, we also say Yuletide in America. Yuletide.
Yeah, that's where I
We
came
did
from.
talk about the Yule log. So where does
We
that come
haven't
from?
talked about Festivus either. And I have
Ooh,
my
let's do
Festivus
it.
poll.
Let's talk about Festivus.
Yeah, Mullen,
I
you got to
get
give
a
us
lot
the
of
Festivus.
problems with you
Here we
people,
go.
and now you're going to hear about it. That's my Festivus.
I think Festivus is fantastic. I read a little bit about it.
As soon as you said
And
that,
I never
like-
saw the episode in Seinfeld where Festivus comes from, but I did read the article, and it said that one of the writers used to. Did she actually celebrate the holiday with her family? And they called it Festivus.
And it was the celebration of her parents' first date.
And they would actually have the air. What was it called? At the airing of the
grievances.
The airing of grievances. I love that.
Me
Let's
too.
stand up and
That
call
is
each other on
brilliant.
their shit at the end of the year.
And
I think it's a
feet-
really good idea because that's what happens at holidays anyway. Let's just make a time for it instead of it
Right.
happening at a.
Also, I would not trust my family with a Festivus poll. Somebody's going to get hurt.
Is that
I
what a
wouldn't
Festivus
trust
poll
me
looks
with
like?
one of those after
This is
last
actually a
Christmas.
tripod. It's
You just
supposed
need
to
a
be not bad.
big steel pole. Is that what a
Steel pole.
Festivus pole is?
No decorations necessary.
And then during Festivus, the two eldest men
The-
wrestle after dinner.
Feats of strength.
Feats
And
of
the
strength.
head of household wrestles anyone who wants to come at them. Grr.
Oh, that sounds really good.
Yeah, it would make the holidays so much more fun.
It'd be
I
like,
don't-
let's do this.
I don't think my
I've got a
grandpa would
holiday
live.
gripe. Empty the fucking dishwasher. Don't let it sit there for 3 days. Other people got to do dishes. It ain't just
Yeah.
you. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think that would be very good for my family, especially after what happened last Christmas. Nobody would be able to trust me with that poll.
Did you whack somebody with a pole last Christmas?
No, but if I'd have had one, I would have done.
There was I got an argument with my sister one time, and I think she's listening, so I have to be careful. I'm going to tell the story. I'm going to leave out some of the juicy details, but in either way, I got in an argument with her, and I got so mad I grabbed the broom and I handed it to her, and I said, "Take your car and go home." I did not realize this at the time, but I just handed her a weapon, and she did not like what I had to say. And so, I thought it was a smart ass joke. I got my ass beat with a fucking stick. So
That's Christmassy.
yes.
My brothers came up on me once and surprised the shit out of me from behind, and I was holding a brick of coffee, and my instinct, I turned around and I whacked him in the forehead with it. I took him right down. It was awful. I felt bad. I still feel bad, but man, he earned it.
Take your car and go
I know,
home.
I've
I
actually
handed her a
whacked somebody
fucking
with my
broom.
broomstick before.
What makes you feel Christmassy, Katie? Is there a story or something that happened to you on Christmas that you remember fondly?
Or not
Whacking
so
somebody with a
think that's the
broomstick.
best
Or
Christmas
not
I've
so
ever had.
fondly, even?
Well, there's a bad Christmas and a good Christmas that I remember. The bad Christmas was last year when I nearly physically threw my sister out of my flat. I think I've told this story to some of the DT family, but I didn't realize that my niece was here, bearing in mind she was 16 at the time, and she's naturally dark-haired, and I thought that she was my sister, and I'd literally just woken up. I'd finally managed to get some sleep, which was, amazing. Went through to make a coffee, came back in, and I saw my niece sat there, and I was just so taken aback, I nearly fell over, and I just went, holy crap, what have you done to your hair? She'd gone from being so dark-haired to about a shade darker than platinum blonde. And it was just such a shock. And it really didn't suit her. It was far too light for her. And my sister, well, my niece and my brother-in-law ended up storming out. And me and my sister got into it. And I ended up screaming in her face some home truths between speaking to her very calmly. But yeah, that was fun. But my best Christmas was probably my first Christmas with my daughter.
Oh yeah, that must be nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was so funny as well because she had this little, do you know, like the little walkers that babies can have? Well, this was in the shape of a pushchair. And it took us forever to put it together. And it was so simple to put together.
Wow.
But the thing that I remember most from that is we got one of these, like, it was called My First Guitar, but it had buttons on. And we had Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi on. And then Crazy Train by Black Sabbath came on. As soon as Crazy Train came on, she started playing it with her gums. And it was one of the best things I'd ever seen. And I said, she's going to turn into a right little rock chick. And she did. She loved air rock and metal.
Nice.
So that was one of the best Christmases.
I have to tell you, if we're telling, well, I want to tell an embarrassing thing on myself. I was out back when I lived in my apartment complex. Anthony was my partner then. We were out swimming in the pool. And, he smacked me, I smacked him, he smacked me, and then he ducked under the water, and I grabbed his foot, and I started nibbling on his foot, only to realize it was the neighbor kid. It was the neighbor kid, not Anthony. And the neighbor kid popped up and was like, why were you biting my foot? And I almost had a heart attack in the pool. I'm like, oh, my God, I did not mean to do that. Now, thank God, the mom, saw everything, saw what was out there. She obviously thought I had grabbed Anthony's foot and was nibbling. So she was laughing hysterically. The kid was like, why the fuck did you bite my foot? Anthony almost choked on water. He was laughing so hard. And I was the color of a turnip. I was so red. I like a radish.
I'll tell you,
it was
I'll
awful.
share an embarrassing Christmas story too.
Awful.
I think it was my 5th year of life, and my parents got me all these presents, and I was super stoked, and I was a little spoiled, weed smoking kid. I didn't smoke weed till I was 7, but anyway, my parents had these beautiful homes, and I was really spoiled at 5, and they bought me a Superman cape from the old Christopher Reeve Superman films and Superman boots. And then I don't know if it was on Christmas Day. I think it was. They went out for some reason. And I thought in my 5-year-old brain that if I put the Superman cape and boots on, that it must work. Like I got the outfit, I must be able to fly. I got up in my 2nd-story window, and my little 5-year-old ass leaped out that window thinking that I was going to soar off into the distance. And I plummeted to the snow, and underneath the snow there was all this old 2x4s and nails and shit, and I literally got a nail through each foot.
Oh my god!
And I was stuck in the snowbank with my Superman cape and my bleeding Superman boots for 2 hours, just going, help, ah! My parents finally came home.
I never got the nails, but every boy has put on a cape and jumped off with somewhere high, thinking they could fly when they were really small.
Oh, this is
every boy has done that.
People? Okay, good.
Oh my god, every boy.
All right.
Maybe even Supergirls out there. I don't know.
Does anyone remember the old brand names catalog? And it was that freaking thick. And
no,
look for. Wow, I'm old. Sorry.
What do you mean? There was a Christmas catalog that was I vaguely remember flipping through
They'd issue the brand names catalog twice a year, once in the summer and once in the winter. And my brother and I would sit there with this ginormous catalog, and it was like 10 pounds. It was so
It would just come in the mail.
Yeah. And our poor mailman, like, he would have to lug one of these to every house on the street, right? And we would sit there and we would check off and make little lists of all the stuff. And I was always like Glamour Girls, and my brother's like G.I. Joes.
Well, that shows
I
that.
don't think we have anything like that.
Yeah, I vaguely remember holiday catalogs, but
It was
I don't
like
know
the
if I ever
Sears
got that.
catalog, only it was bigger because brand names was mostly mail order stuff at the time. They'd have like one store in a state. I mean,
Do
Their
girls jump off things with capes and boots too?
Oh, I did.
You did the
I
same?
used to jump out of trees and everything. I used to jump off garage roofs.
yeah, I did
Okay.
trees.
All right.
Girls
good.
put on capes and say, "Shoot me, I'm Wonder Woman."
Valerie, this was trying to tell me that girls don't shart as much as men.
Oh,
I think it might depend on the girl.
I've got
Yeah,
a niece.
She
I got
said
a
niece.
it's never happened to her at all. Because I was sharing the same story I shared with you guys. She was like, "Why does that happen to boys?" And I'm like, "I don't think it's just boys." She's like, "That's never happened to me. I've never sharted."
Yeah,
I'm like, "How
girls
could
never.
that be possible?"
Girls never fart, right? Yeah, give me a
Yeah.
And our poop smells like roses.
Right, right.
You
Yeah,
okay?
I'm sorry I can't agree with you because I don't lie. So, you know,
We-
I can't
Yeah.
agree with you there, Marla.
We got a couple more callers, and then I know Cassie's setting something up for us. So,
All right,
Katie,
cool.
Katie, thank you so much. By the way, the cat wants to say hi to Katie. It's just a fan of Katie.
Oh, the cat food.
Oh my
Yeah,
God! Look at
Before I
6.
go,
I don't know who.
I'm really sorry that your Christmas cards are all going to be late.
That's okay.
I'd
Slimix-
snuggle that.
I don't know who Slimix clipped is, but he said one Christmas my father was jealous of my mom's gifts, so he chopped them up with an axe. That's pretty
Wow.
gnarly.
What?
That's a bad Christmas right there.
Oh my goodness. I had my mother, this is a story she told me. When she was young, she got in trouble. And this is back when you spanked your kids with a belt. Anyway, and I caught the belt, by the way. I was one of the latchkey kid. I got the belt. Anyway, my mom, thinking she was smart, went and buried all the belts in the house, including the felt belts on my grandmother's really nice dresses, like buried them all in the backyard. And when her dad got home, she was cross-armed, so pleased with herself, like, "You're not going to belt me," forgetting about the one he was wearing at the moment.
Oh, that's
So
Whoops. I love
That
the
always-
old days when you could just smack
Yeah.
kids. I mean, that's what I was wondering about.
Please.
I was actually
Oh my
when
God.
we were saying we were going to do a holiday special. When did tossing dwarfs against a Velcro wall become? What holiday is that? Where you get to
That's
throw
actually
the
illegal
dwarf?
in certain areas.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there a
They make a
Dwarf
joke about
tossing?
it. Yeah, they
Yes.
make a joke about it in Lord of the Rings. And Gimli, like, somebody wants to throw Gimli, and he's like, "Don't even think about it."
Yeah.
But then later he asked him to be thrown and said, "Don't tell anybody. Throw
Yeah.
me, but don't ever tell anybody."
I'm sure it's probably illegal to just toss a dwarf for no reason, but I thought there was like a holiday where you could.
I
Where
never
where
had
we
a
could
holiday. I know in
Check-
England it used to be like wrestling. They had a whole sport around it. But then in Florida, it got banned and it was like listed as illegal because
I can't. I mean, you walk
got-
up to somebody on the street. "Come here, you little fucker. I want to toss you."
Yeah, I've always wanted to toss a midget. I've never.
Okay, so if anybody wants to toss a midget, you
Yeah.
can go to the Buffalo Chip in Sturgis during the rally, and right in front of main stage there is a booth, and there's this midget. His name is Samson. He is really fucking cool. He's a great dude. But he runs an event called Midget Bowling, and it's like a little shelf, and it like drops off into pins, and you get they grease Samson up, and they grease this lane up, and you get to throw Samson off the edge. And
Just
it's-
Samson over and over and over again, and he
Yeah,
takes
I
it all
thought-
night.
he's a
I
great
thought-
guy. Go support Samson. Throw him into some pins.
I thought you were supposed to grease up and try to catch a deaf guy. I thought that was the. I thought that was the shtick.
oh my.
My mom lost the eyesight in her left eye this Christmas. Isn't that a bummer?
Oh no, her retina detached.
No, she got some kind of weird sickness for like 3 weeks, and then I
Oh,
think
wow.
she might have had a stroke or something, but some super fast degradation of her sight, and she lost the sight in her left eye.
That's
Um,
terrifying.
Yeah, it was a
Happened to
bummer.
my mom
And
too, and it was also her left eye before she passed
really?
away. Yeah.
Was it a stroke?
It wasn't a stroke. She started getting it was like an infection, and then it became like like film was
Oh
over her
man.
eye, and she couldn't see through it. And then it happened for a couple of years before she actually passed. But she got that also in her left eye. Very
That's
interesting.
weird.
Oh man, Valerie's getting boogers coming out of her left eye every time she sleeps. She wakes up and she'll like actually grab and pull, and it'll like kind of go all the way around, and then she'll pull out like this, like
Oh, that's
literally
sexy.
looks like a booger.
Does she sleep on her left side?
Yeah, she has to sleep on her left side because of her spine. Why? Do you think you know what's causing her eyeball gook?
Well, sometimes I'll get a cat hair in my eye because I've got like 4 cats, right?
Yeah, we have cat.
And I'll wake
We
up and
have
I'll
cat.
pull cat hair out and it'll be like slimy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's happened too. Gross. But
Doesn't
yes,
happen to
but-
me. My eyes are eyes of steel. I've never had.
All right, Dave,
You
you're
know-
up. Please save us from the
Hello.
cat boogers.
Yes.
yes,
Let's get back to sharding on Christmas, Dave. Brian.
yes,
Let's
yeah.
go.
Back to the good stuff.
Well, you're sharing like probably like the worst Christmas that I had was right before I turned.
Also,
30.
shut up, Dave. Preska Dare has been leaving amazing comments in the chat tonight as well. Go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
No, it's just say right before my 30th birthday, which is on Christmas Day. So I'm the best thing that Christmas has ever happened to at
He
least
is
with my
the gift.
family.
Your
But-
birthday's on Christmas? Is that what you
Yeah.
just said?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
25th.
God, how terrible.
It's like 1:30 in the morning is when I popped out.
Kind of like
Pop-
Jesus.
like-
No, Jesus resurrected. Is it his
Right,
birthday?
right.
It is, right? I mean, that's what they say.
Supposedly.
Yeah,
but
but
it's-
it's
Some
not really. But
traditions celebrate it January 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but no,
now,
my
according to Back to the Future, that was his birthday. Because remember, Doc Brown said, "You want to see the birth of Christ?" And he puts in December 25th, 0000.
Yep.
Did they go see him?
No, they did
He
not.
didn't show it, but
That's a possibility.
He typed
But-
it into the computer, but they didn't do it.
But on that
wow,
tangent,
look at
saying,
this Christmas milk and cookies.
woohoo!
oh, you're like Santa.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah, but
Poor Dave.
Hey, where's my servant? Where's my eggnog? Where-
Yeah, nog and cookies.
Oh,
Look at
we
this!
didn't
Look at
even
this!
watch on Boxing Day. That's my favorite. But Dave,
Hang on.
you were
yeah,
Hold
they-
on, Dave. I'm gonna bring you right back. Just give me 1 second.
Teresa.
Here's my look. See her eye. See how she's got a little cataract going on there.
oh,
Yeah.
I
That's
see.
kind of what my mom had. It was kind of like that.
Oh no.
Dang.
I wonder if my
Yeah.
mom's gonna die soon. That sucks. I don't
No,
want-
no, she's not gonna
I
die
love
soon. It just
She
I was
might.
just
She's
saying.
got high blood pressure and her eyes all messed up. And she lost her sight. Dave,
No, but
your
no,
birthday's
like,
on Christmas. That's gotta suck.
well, as a
Yeah.
yes and no. As a kid, I was fortunate. As saying, I always got the separate gifts. I just had to wait all year for both. So the way my family did it, we did family Christmas presents Christmas Eve, we did Santa presents Christmas morning, and then I did my birthday presents Christmas night. But
Right.
what really sucked is that I could not have birthday parties. I tried
Yeah,
to
no
talk
way.
my mom into like, can I do like a half birthday on June 25th? Because Idaho, we're out of school in like the first week of June. We're done with school. But my mom said, no, you have to wait. But excuse me, there was one year we were junior high. We got out of school at 1:00 in the afternoon, the Friday before Christmas, and we actually had snow in Lewiston, which is a rarity. So I had a bunch of my friends and neighbors come over for my mom made a one of those sheet cookies on a pizza pan. So I see stores doing that nowadays. It's just like, my mom did that when I was a teenager, and she spelled "Happy Birthday, David" with M&Ms. It was really fun. but we were all in the backyard and we were throwing snowballs at each other. And then my dad decided to get in on it. And one of the Armstrong twins, I cannot remember if it was Mike or Matt, but one of them chucked the snowball right at my dad, hit him square in the forehead, and the snow went behind his glasses. Everybody froze. We're like, holy crap. And my
Run
dad,
like hell.
well, we were too freaked out to do it, but my dad
Run away.
my dad took his glasses off, just kind of brushed the snow out of his eyes, put his glasses on, just smiled. Who did that?
Mhm.
And everyone just ratted him out, just like, it was him. So my dad just reached out, he grabbed a big old armful of snow, dumped it on his head, and walked in the house.
Every Christmas story I have has to do with farts or death. So let's bring on our final guest to tell his Christmas story and what makes him feel Christmassy. He lives in a van down by the river. It's Chris Leftwich. What's up?
What's up?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
He's like, I'm not even listening to you anymore.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
What's that?
Merry Christmas.
You don't hear me now?
Oh my God, it's hilarious.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm in my van down by the river.
Nice.
Actually, I'm in my truck. Yeah.
But he's in a truck down by the cave that is wet. But go
I'm
ahead.
in a truck.
You got the
I'm by a
voice
cave.
to me.
No, I'm sure
The
it is.
moist cave.
It's still up there. It's all wet. Oh, Mala, you were talking about catalogs, and dude, we got the Sears and J.C. Penney catalog because you and I are about the same age, and when I was a kid, and when I was 8 years old, I was looking at the toys and the lingerie. And then when I was 10, like 10, I was still looking at toys and lingerie, giggity, and kind of looking at electronics. And then when I was 12, I was looking at all the stereo systems and, hi-fi, tube televisions, not the black and white ones because, they were still available. Yeah, and the lingerie and the toys.
You just added
come
to
on.
this.
Come on,
Every
let's
year
be honest.
new.
Do what?
Yeah, hey, sex clips or sex slumped clips or slick slumped. Six moped clips.
Who's a what's it?
Slick some moped clips. Yeah, if you want to come on the show, you just click this link in the Discord down there in the notes, and we can bring you on if you want to. Hey, it's Cecil. Sex lump
My
clips.
earbuds aren't working, so that's why I'm so.
Someday he'll figure out how to join us live, but we're about to close the show down anyway. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off from your lingerie and black and white TVs.
Rabbit ear antennas. Rabbit ear antennas. I remember those.
Oh, the rabbit ears. Remember when you had to hold the rabbit ears?
Yes.
Yep. And you actually, you actually could extend them with foil, and my dad would make me, hold them and walk different, and stop right there, stop. And
and they just have to hold it so the program comes in. Yep.
Yeah. Wow. We actually had a Christmas like that just a couple Christmases ago when my lady's father's mother passed. We came and she didn't have any TV, and so we actually bought one of those old school antennas. Now they're not rabbit ears, but they're like this box, like this weird plastic box.
Yeah.
You sort of have to.
Well, what happened was, and I'll be brief because I know the show's going to end, but me and radios, TV stations used to put out an analog signal, and that's where you had the Yagi antennas, the kind that have prongs coming out, you'd have on your roof. And then you had the rabbit ear antennas with the little circle loop for the UHF. Well, today they don't send out analog, they send out digital signals. So a digital signal doesn't have the same kind of antenna receptor a digital signal has.
So rabbit ears would do fuck all for you today.
Yeah, but they were analog, and they were designed to pick up an analog signal, not a digital signal. So that was
right. Everything is all digital now. Here in the travel trailer, while we're building the house, here in the travel trailer, we have a rotating digital antenna on top of the travel trailer, and it's an 85-mile range. So we get, Nashville, Bowling Green, anything.
Yep.
Plenty enough.
Before we wrap up, we have 2 more callers who just joined, so I want to give them, they're brand new, want to give them a chance. DJ, welcome. How you doing?
Hey,
I'm
what's
good.
up,
What's
man?
happening?
What's
DJ
up,
Birdie.
bro?
Merry Christmas, man.
Merry Christmas, bro.
Hey,
What's
Hey,
up?
what's up, man? What's up?
DJ Birdie, if you go check out right now, Apple Music, Amazon, go check out ClickTight, CLICTYT. DJ Birdie did all the
yeah.
beats on that first album. ClickTight, take
Yay.
it to him. Check it out.
Right
What's up,
on.
man?
Well, so I just wanted to say Merry Christmas to you guys if I don't see you. And yeah, working really hard. Back in the club again. So if you come check out Click Tight's music out there in Copperhead, that'll be dope. So
Cool, man. Where's Copperhead? When is this?
on Academy and every Saturday.
Every Saturday you're playing live? And what's
I'm
it?
back
The club is
again
called
doing the
Copperhead?
DJ club. Yeah. So otherwise than that, it's pretty good. So wait, I don't know what the topic was, what you guys were talking about.
We
I was
were
trying
sharing Christmas stories, like shit
Holidays.
that makes us feel Christmassy, and like
Oh,
either your worst
oh.
Christmas or your best Christmas.
My worst Christmas was my family was like we all were in one house, and like my family couldn't afford all the Christmas gifts, so all the kids around the neighborhood thought that we were bad.
Oh,
Yeah,
We
I
didn't
had
get
one of
very
those.
many Christmas gifts, so yeah, our family kind of joined together and beat up all the other kids who took their toys.
Awesome,
you.
awesome.
That was like Halloween for me. I got my ass kicked and they took my candy.
Oh,
Yeah.
hopefully it wasn't us.
That's awesome. I had the same experience because I went from being a spoiled little brat when my dad was selling mad weed when I was a kid to him getting arrested. And then the next year we were in this little crappy apartment and my parents couldn't afford to get me anything but a can of fucking Campbell's soup and something called The Fart Book, which was just a book.
I had the fart book. That was a great book.
Yeah, it was great. It was the first time I acted because I tried to pretend for my parents that I was like all happy. You know,
Like Tom.
really, I was not at all because I went from being a spoiled rich kid to the fart book and a can of soup.
Oh,
I got the dick book around here somewhere, but I don't know where I put it.
Yeah, you have the fart book like on.
No, I had the fart book, and I have the dick book on hand. I have that one. somewhere.
He always has that on hand.
Well, the fart
Yeah.
book was a pretty amazing little coloring book, and it would actually tell you all the different kinds of farts. It was like 50 of the
did not
different.
know that.
You can roll it up and put it up your ass. It's spicy.
For one gift, it was a pretty good gift.
I would enjoy that gift. I would
Best
definitely
Christmas?
enjoy it.
Did you just eat brown crayon? How did that work?
What? That way you eat the soup and you've got something. Oh my God! Come on.
Oh, what's this? Look at
just
this
need
one.
one-
Look what Slump Clip said. It's a shit read.
It's a shit read. It's actually the
Oh
first
my
time. I
God.
think I was 7, so that was the first time I heard the term "silent but deadly." I thought it was hilarious. Just
Oh, the one cheek sneak. The one cheek sneak.
one cheek
That's
sneaks
the
in
other
there
one.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your best Christmas,
Silent but
DJ
Deadly
Birdie?
is amazing.
The best
That's what was
Christmas.
used back in the Air Force.
Yeah. What? You have any-
I think my best Christmas was let me see, my daughter being born 10 days before Christmas.
That's cool,
Aw.
man. That's Katie
That's
said the
nice.
same thing because
Hey,
Yeah.
it must be
Sagittarius
awesome,
were the
that
best.
That first Christmas.
You guys are terrible.
Yeah.
I'm raising one. You guys are terrible. I can't say no to that child for nothing.
Yeah.
I can't.
I haven't met many Sagittarius. How old is she?
9.
Oh, that's a good age.
Yeah,
Right.
9.
It's rebellious.
Yeah, very, very.
So
my old-
DJ, I'm the gay one of the group, so I always call myself a faggotarius. But that's.
Okay.
But no, us Sagittariuses, man, we got it going on. Your daughter's lucky.
Yeah, she is
Oh,
very
you're a
much.
Sag
Um,
too, Tyson. I didn't know.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
my.
December 19th.
Oh wow.
I'm a Virgo because I'm pure and not, a dirty old man.
Oh yeah, Chris Lethwich. Pure as the driven snow you are.
Yeah,
Not a
Yeah.
dirty old man.
I'm a monkey's uncle.
Not
No,
a dirty old man.
anything that's pure and white around Chris is something meant to be sniffed. Give me a break.
See that?
Hey there, sweetheart. That was great. And here's the condom I said I used. Giggity, giggity, you got used.
You.
Okay, have a nice day.
Right.
Merry Christmas.
Well, you guys have a great Christmas. I appreciate you letting me be on the show. I
Thanks
thank
for
you.
coming
brother.
on,
Oh,
man.
thank you for
Nice
being
to
here,
see
DJ.
Mad love,
All
yo.
right.
I'll see you guys.
you soon.
You too. Zach, you get to end the show. What is it? What's up?
What's up, Zach? Merry
What's
Christmas.
up?
I just
Happy
wanted
holidays.
to jump in here and just wish you all a happy Merry Christmas. Have a happy New Year. Enjoy your family, your friends, and I don't know, get into some dangerous thoughts, everybody.
Yeah,
Go through
man.
them reruns.
Nice to see you, dude.
For
Yeah,
real.
check out the show, man. It's fun doing this Christmas episode and seeing the Dangerous Thoughts family that is we're all sitting around our digital Christmas fire here and sharing the love for each other. But we got to get this show going and rocking and shared all over the world. So next year, I think, is the time that we're gonna take off. But for this holiday, let's especially as exactly what the ghost of Manu's past just said. Enjoy what you have. Be humble and thankful for what you got. That's what I always think on Christmas, because Christmas is, for some reason, always really freaking hard on me. Like it's. I remember one Christmas I spent homeless at I think I was 19, and I was traveling for some reason. Maybe I was 6. Oh God, I was like 16, and I was traveling, and I had nowhere to sleep, and it was Christmas, and I was sitting on a bus stop. I decided to go see the movies. It was like back when the movies were like $3 $3.50 or something like that. And I remember I went and saw. I was in the middle of somewhere in Montana trying to hitchhike back to California, and it was Christmas. And I was depressed, and I was just totally bummed out. But for some reason, I want to speak a little bit about the magic of Christmas. For some reason, even being completely alone and homeless and stuck in the middle of nowhere on Christmas, I went and saw a movie, and I saw Forrest Gump. And Forrest Gump is like one of the best movies ever. I don't know if you guys agree. But I mean, I walked out of Forrest Gump feeling so good because that movie was so good on Christmas that it got me, out there on the highway again and through to California. That was probably
remember when a bug bit him in the ass?
when he was in Nam, right?
Yeah, but he said, a bug
Yeah.
jumped up and bit me in the
And
ass.
bit
He
my
got
ass.
shot, but he said he got.
Yeah. And
Oh
so
my
that
God.
was the thing. Forrest Gump had the ability to look at things in a good light, and I think
And he mooned
all
Richard
of us,
Nixon. He mooned Richard Nixon.
yeah, I think all of us in America, we live
Brilliant.
in this weird system, right, where it is capitalist, and Christmas is definitely a capitalist holiday. If Mala did the
That was a
research for
pagan
us,
holiday.
well, yeah, but the modern Christmas goes back to 1860.
Yeah.
The way we think of it now with Santa Claus, and Coca-Cola made Santa Claus, and this story about the guy coming down giving gifts and all this
It's totally
all
capitalized.
the
Victorian.
pressure that capitalism puts on us.
Yeah.
But at the same
it just
time,
makes
even
sense.
broke people in this country we're all broke ass. I don't know. Maybe some of you guys are rich. I don't know. But I'm not. And I know we're still spoiled in a way. You know what I mean? So be humble and thankful for what you do have this Christmas, because there are other people sleeping out in the cold right now. And give what you can to your fellow neighbors and friends, and be humble and thankful for what you got. Call your mom, call your family, call your friends. But don't forget that you are being watched by UFOs, God, and Satan. We'll see you next time on Dangerous Thoughts. Merry Christmas, everyone.
And get dead on their ass.
take it to them. Ruin their motivation to survive. Robbers hide is like a jungle holding rest of a nation. You couldn't hold me like a tongue, your knees collapsing away. Hey, gorilla hearted, I beating my chest to stay alive. Take it to them. Ruin their motivation to survive. Robbers hide is like a jungle holding rest of a nation. You couldn't hold me like a tongue, your knees collapsing away. Gorilla hearted, I beating my chest to stay alive. Hey.
Well,